So, once upon a time, there was a totally normal guy on all accounts. The only thing that was different about him was his fingers were stinky. He had decrepit, old, rotten fingers. Little fingers, decrepit, stinky, wrinkling. And so, what always happened is he's a normal guy, average guy. He would walk up to people, he would say hi, they'd say hey, and then they'd see, as soon as they saw his fingers, then their entire attitude would change. He would watch it on their face. Maybe like looking at his fingers, wondering, thinking about his fingers, distracted by his fingers, his decrepit old fingers. Okay, when he would walk up to a girl, he would approach her, he would say, hi, my name is Johnson, what's your name? She says, Delilah, right? She says, Delilah. She likes him a little bit. He says, hey, well, is it cool if I take you out sometime? I know a really nice spot. She says, yeah, sure. He hands her cell phone, or he hands her his cell phone. Decrepit, stinky, filth-ridden, just honestly grotesque little fingers on the screen with flakes all over the screen now as he hands her the phone. And his fingers are dying, basically, like they stink. And she's like, what the hell is wrong with this guy's fingers? Oh my God. She says no. She would have said yes, but she says no. Okay, so that was the life of Stinky Old Finger Man. Well, one day Stinky Old Finger Man was in the forest. He was going for a walk on a trail. But he went out way too late and it got dark, so he couldn't see anymore, and he was trying to find his way back to his car. That's when he heard a voice. It was a voice of a girl. She said, hello, can somebody help me? He said, I'm over here. They couldn't see each other. He said, I'm over here. He walked over to her, and then they met up, and then he said, okay, we got to figure out how to get out of this forest, right? You with me? So eventually they make it to a clearing. It's not their cars, but it's a clearing. So they decide that's safer than being in the forest. They go out there, they lay in this giant field. It's massive. You can't even see it right now because there's trees. But they go out in this huge field, and they end up spending the whole night talking and chatting and laughing and being cute together. Well, anyways, the sun comes up. Old Dirty Fingers is sitting here, and he's thinking, oh my God, she's gonna see my fingers. She's gonna hate me now. It's all for naught. But the sunrise comes up. He says, listen, I have to tell you something. The sun hasn't come up yet. He says, listen, I have to tell you something. When the sun comes up, you're gonna see my fingers. They're decrepit, old, putrid, dirty fingers. Nasty. She said, that's okay, I like you. The sun came all the way up. She saw his fingers, and they held hands. All right, that was chapter 1. Chapter 2. Now that the sun was up, they were able to find their cars. They weren't that far off. They got to their separate cars and took off, but they exchanged phone numbers, and she didn't care about his hands. They liked each other. That's what mattered. Well, unbeknownst to her, Dirty Fingers had a crazy obsession. So he had always had bloodlust. He wanted to kill. He would kill little animals when he was a kid. When he got older, he wanted to kill something bigger, but he didn't know what to kill. He saw a lot of pedophile hunting videos where guys like go out and catch predators and beat the shit out of them. He was like, all right, I'll kill one of those guys. So, unbeknownst to this pretty girl, Delilah, our dude had a side hobby, which was killing predators. He would trick them into coming to meet like a 14-year-old girl or something. They'd show up, and then he'd have like a little AI voice changer deep in the forest, and it would say, come, I'm out here. And the guys would walk through the forest looking for this underage girl, and then he would come out with a big ass knife, and he would slay them like really grotesquely and videotape it and just keep it for himself. Okay, that was unbeknownst to her. Until one day they were at his house. They were having a nice, cute little date. She stumbled into this nigga's basement. She saw a whole bunch of dead dudes right? And she was like, what's going on down there? And he said, look, I can't explain it right now. My brain, I didn't know you were gonna find it. And she said, look, that shit is kind of epic, nigga. So it was cool. So it was very cool. Chapter 3. Eventually, they kept dating forever, and even though he had stinky fingers and even though he killed people, she still liked him. They kept on dating, and eventually they decided, look, there's got to be a way we can switch it around and make it so you don't have stinky fingers or feel the desire to kill your bloodlust. You know, some way that we can turn that off. So then they found a new research study. Turns out the multiverse is real. There's bunch of billions of universes. All we have to do is travel into the next universe where you don't have stinky fingers or like to bloodlust. So that's what they did. They took a universe changer, switched it over to the next world, but it took them back a few years before they met. Get this. So now they had to meet again. But this time, she didn't meet him in the dark. Her first time she saw him, this time she worked at an office building. He was another office worker there. And he walked up to her and he said, hey, you're really pretty. And he handed her his cell phone, his flakes all over it. And she said, ew. The end.